Hey there, I'm Kylie, and here's my story. I'm 28, love fitness, and I teach at a local gym. That's where I met Jack, a regular who soon became much more. We clicked instantly. Before I knew it, we were planning a wedding. Jack's got a younger brother, Mike. Cool guy, really. We hit it off as friends from the get-go. Now, Jack's mom, Linda, that's a whole other story. She's had it out for me since day one. Thinks I'm just some gym rat leading her sons astray. One day, Jack, Mike, and I were at the gym. Jack was lifting weights, Mike was on the treadmill, and I was coaching a class. Linda walked in unexpectedly. "Hey, Linda," I greeted her, trying to be friendly. She just narrowed her eyes at me. "Watching my boys, are you?" I was taken aback. "Just doing my job here," I replied. Linda scoffed. "Job? Parading around in those tight clothes." Jack, hearing this, dropped his weights with a clang and came over. "Mom, come on, that's not fair." Linda turned to him. "Fair? I know what I see. Your wife's too friendly with everyone, especially men." Mike, panting from his run, joined us. "Mom, you're being ridiculous." Linda shot him a look. "Don't you start. I know what's going on here." I tried to calm the situation. "Linda, I'm just working. There's nothing going on." But Linda was on a roll. "I've seen your Instagram, Kylie. All those likes and comments from men. What's that about?" Jack intervened. "Mom, those are just her clients and friends." Linda wasn't having it. "Friends or something more? You need to open your eyes, Jack." I could feel the tension rising. This wasn't new. Linda had always been suspicious of me, but this was the first time she'd confronted me so openly. "Look, Linda," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I love Jack. Nothing's going on." Linda just huffed. "We'll see about that," she stormed out, leaving the three of us in an awkward silence. Jack put his arm around me. "Sorry about her, Kylie. She's just protecting." Mike chimed in. "Yeah, protective like a bulldog." I tried to laugh it off, but deep down, Linda's words stung. I knew this was just the beginning of something bigger, something messy, but there I was, caught in the middle of a family I was trying so hard to be a part of. That night, as Jack and I lay in bed, he turned to me. "You know I trust you, right?" I nodded. "I know, but your mom, Jack?" "Yeah, my mom. She's always been tough, but we'll get through this together." I wanted to believe him. I really did. But Linda's accusations lingered in my mind, a dark cloud over our marriage that I couldn't shake off. And that was just the beginning. It wasn't long after Linda's gym outburst that things took a turn for the worse. We were all at Jack's place for a family dinner. Me, Jack, Mike, and of course, Linda. The air was already heavy with unspoken tension. Mike was the first to break the silence. "So, Kylie, how's the gym life treating you?" I smiled, trying to keep things light. "Same old, really. Busy as ever." Linda, who had been quietly seething, saw her chance. "Busy flirting with your male clients, you mean?" Her voice was like ice. Jack, sitting next to me, stiffened. "Mom, not now, please." But Linda was relentless. "Oh, I'll say what I need to. I saw those comments on your Instagram, Kylie. Men drooling over you like you're some kind of prize." I could feel my face flushing with anger and embarrassment. "Linda, those are just clients and gym friends. Nothing inappropriate." She snorted. "Friends? Is that what they call it these days?" Mike jumped in, trying to defend me. "Mom, you're way off base here." Linda turned her glare to him. "And you, always defending her. What's going on between you two? Always together, always whispering." The accusation hung in the air, heavy and poisonous. Jack's face was a mix of confusion and anger. "Mom, what the hell are you talking about?" Linda leaned forward, eyes locked on mine. "I'm talking about betrayal, Jack. Your wife and your brother sneaking around." I was speechless. This was insane. "Linda, that's a disgusting thing to say. Mike's like a brother to me." Mike was red-faced. Mom, you're way out of line. Kylie's my sister-in-law, that's it. Jack's voice was low and dangerous. Mom, you need to stop, this is crazy. But Linda wouldn't let up. Open your eyes, Jack. I'm just trying to protect you from her. The rest of the meal passed in uncomfortable silence. After dinner, Jack confronted me in our bedroom, his voice shaking with barely contained fury. Kylie, is there any truth to what my mom is saying about you and Mike? I felt like I'd been slapped. Jack, are you serious? Your mom's accusations are insane. You know me, you know Mike. How could you even think? Jack paced the room, running his hands through his hair. I don't know what to think anymore, Kylie. My mom's got me questioning everything. I was on the verge of tears. So you're taking her side? You believe her over me? Jack stopped, looking lost. I don't know what I believe. I need some time to think. And with that, he left the room, leaving me alone, hurt and confused. Linda's words had wormed their way into our marriage, casting a dark shadow over everything. I knew then that things between Jack and me were never going to be the same again. A few months after that disastrous dinner, I found out I was pregnant. You'd think this would be happy news, but with everything going on, it just added fuel to the fire. I remember telling Jack in our kitchen, a place where we shared so many laughs before all this mess. Jack, I'm pregnant, I said, my voice trembling. He looked up, his expression a mix of shock and something else I couldn't quite place. Pregnant? Wow. Are you sure? His reaction stung. Yes, I'm sure, Jack. We're going to have a baby. He came over and hugged me, but it felt forced. That's great, Kylie. Really great. But the doubt was there, lingering in his eyes. And it wasn't long before Linda got wind of the news. We were at her place for the usual Sunday visit that had become more tense than ever. As soon as we walked in, Linda was on us like a hawk. So, I hear you're pregnant, Kylie, she said, her voice dripping with unspoken accusations. Yeah, we're expecting, Jack replied, trying to sound upbeat. Linda raised an eyebrow. Expecting, huh? And you're sure it's yours, Jack? Jack's jaw clenched. Mom, don't start this again. But Linda wasn't deterred. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking, Jack. Your wife's been very friendly with a lot of men. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Linda, are you seriously suggesting that I cheated on Jack? That this baby isn't his? She shrugged. I'm just concerned for my son. You can't blame a mother for that. Mike, who'd been quiet till then, spoke up. Mom, this is crazy. You need to stop. Linda shot him a look. You stay out of this, Mike. This is between Jack, Kylie, and me. The rest of the visit was unbearable. Linda kept dropping hints and making snide comments. It was like she was trying to turn Jack against me. When we got home, Jack was distant. He sat on the couch, staring at nothing. Jack, talk to me, please, I pleaded, sitting next to him. He looked at me, his eyes filled with confusion and hurt. Kylie, my mom's words, they're getting to me. I don't want to believe her, but what, Jack? You think I cheated on you? That I'm carrying someone else's baby? My voice cracked with emotion. Jack sighed, running his hands through his hair. I don't know what to think, Kylie. This is all just too much. I felt a tear roll down my cheek. This was supposed to be one of the happiest times in our lives, and instead, it was being poisoned by Linda's venom. That night, we went to bed in silence. The gap between us was growing, and I didn't know how to bridge it. All I knew was that I was carrying our child, and somehow I had to find a way to protect our little family from falling apart. The day our son Lucas was born should have been the happiest day of our lives. But thanks to all the drama, it felt like walking on eggshells. We were in the hospital room, me exhausted and Jack looking like he didn't know whether to smile or frown. When the nurse handed Lucas to me, his tiny little face was just angelic, blonde hair and bright blue eyes. He's beautiful, Kylie, Jack whispered, but I could see the wheels turning in his head. Yeah, he is, I managed to say, trying to ignore the growing knot in my stomach. Later, when Linda and Mike came to visit, that's when things really hit the fan. Linda took one look at Lucas and her face said it all. Well, isn't he a surprise? Blonde and blue-eyed. Jack stiffened beside me. Mom, what are you trying to say? She just shrugged. Nothing, just an observation. Mike, holding Lucas, gave me a sympathetic look. He's perfect, Kylie. But Linda wouldn't let it go. It's just interesting, it's all. Kylie's dark-haired, you're dark-haired, and here we have a little blondie. I felt my face burning with anger. Linda, genetics can be unpredictable. My cousin has blonde hair. It's not unheard of. She just hummed non-committal, her eyes boring into mine. After they left, Jack sat by my side, Lucas asleep in his crib. He was quiet, too quiet. Jack, please, I said, my voice barely above a whisper, don't let your mom get in your head. He looked at me, then at Lucas. I know, Kylie. It's hard, with everything she's been saying. That night back home, the tension was palpable. Jack held Lucas, looking down at him with a mix of love and something else. Doubt, maybe. Jack, we need to get past this, I said, my voice firm. We're a family now. We can't let your mom ruin this. He nodded. You're right. We can't. I'll talk to her. I'll set things straight. But even as he said it, I knew it wasn't going to be that easy. Linda had planted seeds of doubt, and they were growing, choking the life out of our relationship. Over the next few weeks, it was like walking on a tightrope. Every comment, every look, every gesture was loaded with unspoken questions and accusations. The tension in our home had reached a breaking point. It was a chilly evening, the kind that should have seen us cuddled up together. Instead, Jack paced the living room like a caged animal, Lucas asleep blissfully unaware of the storm brewing. Jack stopped suddenly, turning to face me. His eyes were hard, his voice even harder. Kylie, I can't take this anymore. We're doing a DNA test for Lucas. I felt my blood run cold. A DNA test? Are you out of your mind, Jack? He was unyielding, his words like daggers. It's not just about you and me, Kylie. I want Mike to take the test too. That hit me like a ton of bricks. Mike? Your brother? You seriously think? God, Jack. He didn't back down. You heard my mom. There are doubts, Kylie, and they're eating me alive. I was shaking with fury. So your mom's delusional ideas are driving this? What happened to trusting your wife? Jack's voice was cold. This isn't just about trust, Kylie. It's about certainty. I need to know for sure. Fighting back tears, I countered, and if I say no, what's your grand plan then, Jack? His response was chilling. If you refuse, you and Lucas can't stay. I need to sort this out, and I can't do that with you here. I stared at him, disbelief and anger warring within me. You'd kick out your own wife and son just like that? He wouldn't meet my gaze. That's the way it has to be, Kylie. I spent the night tossing and turning, anger and despair consuming me. The next morning, I confronted Jack again, hoping he'd come to his senses. Jack, we need to talk. You can't be serious about this. I pleaded, Lucas in my arms. Jack was stoic, distant. I've thought it over, Kylie. The test happens, or you leave. That's it. I couldn't hold back my tears. This is insane, Jack. You're choosing your mother's paranoia over your family. He remained unmoved. It's not about choosing sides. It's about finding the truth. I was aghast. And what about us, Jack? What about our marriage? Jack sighed, a hint of regret in his eyes. I don't know, Kylie. Right now, I just need answers. With a heavy heart, I packed our bags. Lucas, oblivious to the heartache surrounding him. At my mom's place, I let it all out. He's making us take a DNA test, Mom. He's lost his mind. My mom wrapped her arms around me, her voice laced with anger. That boy is throwing away his family over some nonsense. You're better than this, Kay. I sobbed into her shoulder. I don't even recognize him anymore, Mom. She held me tight. You're strong, Kylie. You'll get through this. We'll get through this together. Jack's doubts had not only torn our family apart, but had also stripped away the love and trust that once bound us. I was now facing a future full of uncertainties, a single mother with a broken heart trying to make sense of the wreckage. After days of agonizing, I finally agreed to Jack's demand for a DNA test. It felt like walking into a storm, but I had no choice. Jack, I'll do the damn test, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. There was a pause on the other end. Okay, I'll arrange it, and Mike agreed to do it too. I clenched my phone tighter. Fine, let's just get this over with. A week later, we got the call. The results were in. My heart was pounding as we all gathered at the clinic. Again, Linda, who had insisted on coming, looked smug, as if she'd already won. The nurse handed the envelope to Jack. His hands were shaking as he opened it. We all held our breath. Jack's eyes scanned the paper. Then he looked up, his expression unreadable. I'm the father. Lucas is my son. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. I told you, Jack. I told you. Linda's face was a picture of shock and disbelief. But how? I was so sure. Mike snorted. Yeah, you were sure. Sure about ruining our family over your paranoia. Jack just sat there, the paper in his hand, looking lost. I don't know what to say. I was furious, tears streaming down my face. Say something now after you put us through hell? Jack reached out, but I pulled away. Don't, Jack. Just don't. Mike stood up, his anger palpable. I can't believe you did this, Jack. You and Mom, you two deserve each other. Linda tried to say something, but Mike cut her off. No, Mom, you've done enough. I'm done with this. And with that, he walked out, leaving Jack and Linda sitting there, looking at the proof of their unfounded doubts. As for me, I just felt empty. The test had proven my innocence, but it had cost me my marriage, my trust in Jack. It had torn our family apart. I walked out of that clinic knowing that things would never be the same again. The day of reckoning had come. I decided it was time to bring everything out into the open. I invited Jack, his brother Mike, and their mother Linda to my mom's house for a final confrontation. The atmosphere was tense as they walked in. Thanks for coming, I started, trying to keep my voice steady. There's a lot we need to discuss. Linda, with her usual sour expression, sat down stiffly. Well, I'm here. Let's hear it then. Jack looked uneasy, shifting in his seat. Kylie, I've been thinking, maybe we can just forget all this happened. Start over, you know? I couldn't help but scoff at his suggestion. Forget? Oh, Jack, you've got no idea. I reached under the table and slammed the divorce papers in front of him. He stared at them, dumbfounded. Divorce? Why, Kylie, I thought we could work through this. That's when I pulled out the final ace from my sleeve, a folder filled with photographs. I tossed it to him. This is why, Jack. As Jack rifled through the photos, his face drained of color. There he was in each one, cozying up to another woman. His mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. What's this? Linda grabbed the photos, her eyes widening with disbelief. This doesn't prove anything. She's not the right one for you anyway, Jack. I was seething now. Oh, it proves a lot, Linda. It shows Jack's hypocrisy. He accused me of cheating, and yet here he is, the real cheater. Mike, who had been silent, finally spoke up, his voice laced with disgust. I can't believe you, Jack. All this time, you were pointing fingers at Kylie, and you were the guilty one. Jack tried to interject. It's not what it looks like. Mike cut him off. Save it, Jack. I'm done with this. With you. With Mom's manipulations. I'm out. He stood up to leave, but Linda reached out. Michael, please. Mike shook off her hand. "No, Mom, you and Jack have gone too far this time." With that, he left, leaving a palpable void in his wake. Linda, still clutching the photos, turned to Jack. "You can do better than her. You'll see." Jack, still in shock, didn't respond. He just sat there, a picture of betrayal and guilt. I looked at them, my decision firm. "You've both made your beds. Now you can lie in them. I'm done being part of this toxic mess." Linda tried to speak, but I raised my hand, stopping her. "No, Linda, there's nothing left to say. You've lost a daughter-in-law and a son today. I hope it was worth it." As they left, I felt a strange mixture of relief and sadness. I turned to my mom, who had been a silent pillar of strength throughout the ordeal. "It's over, Mom. Just us now." She hugged me tightly. "You did the right thing, Kylie. We're here for you, always." After the dust settled, the divorce was final. The court granted me alimony and compensation for Jack's betrayal. It was a small victory in the grand scheme of things, but it felt like justice. One day, Linda showed up at my door unannounced, her face a mix of desperation and guilt. "Kaylee, I need to see Lucas. He's my grandson." I stood in the doorway, blocking her path. "Not a chance, Linda. After everything you've done, you think you have the right to see him?" She tried to push past me, but I stood firm. "I'm his grandmother, Kylie. You can't keep me from him." I was unmoved, my voice cold. "Watch me. You lost that right when you tore this family apart." Linda's face twisted with anger. "You're being unreasonable, Kylie. I'm still family," I scoffed. "Family? No, Linda, you're nothing to us now." She left defeated and alone. Later, I heard that Mike had left the city, cutting ties with both Linda and Jack. He couldn't stand what our family had become thanks to their actions. As for Jack, he tried to reach out a few times, but I shut him down. "You've got your mom to thank for this mess," I told him one day on the phone. "Don't bother calling again." Jack was left to deal with the wreckage of his choices, with only Linda for company. But even she was no comfort, as he blamed her for everything that had gone wrong. Life moved on. I focused on Lucas and my work, rebuilding our lives piece by piece. My mom was a constant support, helping me navigate single motherhood. One evening, while Lucas was asleep and I sat with a cup of tea, my mom sat beside me. "You did the right thing, Kylie. It wasn't easy, but it was right." I nodded. "It's just us now, but we're stronger for it." The betrayal, the lies, the heartache, it was all behind us now. Ahead was a future filled with hope and a promise of something better. Jack and Linda were part of a past best forgotten. This was our time, our chance to start anew, and I was ready to take it.